Welcome, my non-existent viewers. I asked you guys back on Wednesday for Would You Rather Wednesday if you guys would like me to make more double reviews, like the video I made a few weeks ago, like a month ago for Uncharted and the Batman, where I reviewed two movies in the same video. These are not going to like replace normal movie reviews, but I would like to make these kind of videos where I talk about two movies in the same video, like on a monthly-ish basis, like once a month, once maybe like every other month. But yeah, I saw Morbius back on a Tuesday, and I just got back from seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 finally. So yeah, this video I'm just gonna like give my brief thoughts on both films. Starting with Morbius. Look, I would love to get angry and just start yelling and cursing at this camera, but my roommates are asleep. And I got a copyright strike on my channel the other day for my leg video that I made last year. I'm terribly sorry about that, by the way. And yeah, I'm already in hot water with YouTube right now regarding copyright stuff, so I don't want to violate community guidelines either. So there's nothing I can say about Morbius that hasn't been said 100 times already in the past week, but oh my, Morbius, this movie. Jared Leto, what happened, buddy? You went from like winning an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club way back in 2013 to this and like, other not so great films. Like, Sony, please stop trying with the whole, like, with making Marvel movies. Just leave the Marvel films to Disney with the MCU. Because I overall have not been impressed with the Sony Marvelverse. I enjoyed the Venom movies for what they were, but it's like, I do agree that like those movies should have been rated R, and I feel like I'm not like familiar with the Morbius like comics, but I feel like this movie needed an R rating because when your anti-hero is like a vampire who gets his powers from like sucking dude's blood, is like the blood and the special effects of this movie is very strange and very unimpressive compared to a lot of other Marvel films. Again, I think it should have been rated R. Like, I understand not everyone needs to be Logan, not everyone needs to be Deadpool, not everyone needs to be Snyder's cut for Justice League or the Suicide Squad. But I feel like there's some kills, there's some action scenes. The action scenes are so, like, badly executed, and the visual effects, like, when Morbius or, like, the other vampire character in this movie just, like, slashes or bites dudes, it just looks ridiculous. And it is boring. This movie is like an hour and 44 minutes if my memory is correct, and like, I straight up fell asleep in the middle of the second act of the movie, guys. Like, and that's not just because I had a long day at work. I was just like, and like I was dozing off, and I was like, the movie's still going. And again, Jared Leto is as awkward in this movie as he has been in like pretty much every other movie that he's been in within the past few years. And there's a romance that he has with the doctor lady in this. I don't even remember anyone's name in this film except for Morbius. That's how bland and unforgettable the characters are. The script is all over the place. The plot is a mess. I mean, I do feel like bad for Morbius and his friend, their whole neurological condition where they can't really like walk straight. But as the film progresses, like the Morbius is an anti-hero, and the villain in this movie is literally the most cliched, like, equal archetype for a villain. Like, like, in terms of villainous archetypes, the equal is, like, the most common for superhero movies. Like, Killmonger from Black Panther is a good example of that, because he has the same Black Panther suit and has the same powers as T'Challa, but, like, he's evil instead of T'Challa. And, yeah, it's, like, we see that, like, kind of villain all the time in comic book movies, and the whole dynamic, when there's action going on, nothing is at stake. The editing is sloppy. The story is all over the place, and just overall was a very like dull time. I didn't look at critical receptions for Morbius before going into it. I didn't read reviews. I didn't watch any movie reviews. I went in this movie purely from what I've heard, just from word of mouth and seeing like the thumbnails on other movie reviewing YouTubers. I saw all the frowns and the bad expressions, and I just heard from people just, like going about my daily business, be like, excuse me, just be like, oh yeah, I heard like, Morbius is being like trashed on right now by the critics. So I was like, oh. And I was kind of dreading this movie going into it, and I gotta say, like a lot of bad movies I see, the more I think about it, the worse it gets. Like, viewers, if you haven't seen Morbius, obviously I I would do myself a favor and just not see it if I were in your position, because I have to give Morbius a 1 out of 10 stars. It's a garbage film. Okay, now that end this video on a more positive note, I just got back from seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the sequel to the surprisingly good Sonic the Hedgehog that came out 2 years ago. That was a surprisingly good film, and when I saw Tails in the credits scene, in the post-credits scene in that movie, I was really excited for the sequel. And with Sonic, like Tails meets Sonic and they go on adventures together, and Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, returns, and he's got Knuckles as his new sidekick, who's voiced by Idris Elba, and the two sides are just going head to head over the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't make a top 9 most anticipated movies of 2022 video this year, but this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, guys. And I gotta say, I was not disappointed. I can gladly say that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is better than the first film, in my opinion, at least. I will say this, there's a few things that the first film does better than this one, the main one being the human characters. James Marsden playing, Tom and, his wife, Maddie. I think their dynamic was a lot more fluid in the first film with Sonic than it was in this one. They're clearly parent figures for Sonic in the sequel, as they were in the first movie as well, because Sonic is still a kid and he's still making mistakes and being reckless with his powers. But there's scenes with the human characters that aren't even in the Sonic games in the first place that just drag on for a lot longer than they should. There's this whole wedding subplot where Donut Lord and Maddie go to Hawaii for their friend's wedding, and it drags, and there's a plot twist, and I'm like, guys, can we just get back to Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Dr. Eggman, please? And Jim Carrey, by the way, again, flawless casting as Dr. Eggman. I'm so happy that this franchise is revitalized Jim Carrey's career, because he was born to play Dr. Eggman, especially with the whole more accurate look to Eggman in the games with the mustache and the baldness and him building robots. And Idris Elba as Knuckles, I was pleasantly surprised. I hear Idris Elba's voice and it's okay, when I hear Ben Schwartz voicing Sonic, he sounds just like Sonic in the games. Again, I don't know if Ben Schwartz does a voice work for Sonic in the games, but he sounds just like Sonic. Idris Elba voicing Knuckles still definitely sounds like Idris Elba, but he becomes one with the character, and the whole cast of the characters from the games, again, not the human characters, but that were from the games originally, they bounced off excellently, and the action scenes, again, visuals and action scenes were very well executed, very well choreographed. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, the last fight scene, I know I'm not going to spoilers, I keep these reviews spoiler free like always. The last fight scene gave me chills. I was like, yes, they're doing it. It's excellent. Just excellent. And there is a post-credit scene for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, guys. MCU, get out of here with your post-credit scenes. DCU, get out of here with post-credit scenes. This is probably the most, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it is the most hyped I have been for a third installment for a film in a very long time. Guys, I was blown away by the post-credit scene. And this is just I'll say this one last thing. This is purely a nitpick. I wish that these Sonic movies would use more songs from the games, the video game soundtracks for older Sonic games, instead of just needle dropping popular songs from nowadays. But again, that's just a nitpick. I gotta say, but all in all, I had a really great time with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 stars. It's a really likable film, and hands down the best video game movie we've gotten so far. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this double review, give it a thumbs up, please. And if you guys like the idea of me doing double reviews, I'll keep them coming. Let me know in the comments down below. And did you see Morbius? Again, I encourage you not to, but ultimately I can't stop you. If you have, please let me know what thoughts are in the comments, and what your thoughts were on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in the comments. My apologies if I'm stumbling. I've had a long day and I need sleep. Alright, stay beastly.